Hello, and welcome to Pressed Into Purpose podcast. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pressed Into Purpose. I am your host, Valeria Wright, and I'm so glad that you joined us today. Today, I have my co-host with me, Samuel William Wright III, my wonderful husband. Glad to have you in the building.
I'm grateful.
And we are so glad to have our guests here with us today. We have some beautiful, wonderful, God-fearing people that we call friends. And I typically introduce my guests, but today I want to do it a little differently. I'm going to tell you who they are, and then I'm going to ask them to share a little bit about themselves. So today's guest, we have Minister Darian Abrams and his wonderful wife, Dr. Toya Abrams. You've met her before on the podcast, so she's back again. You are actually the first recurring guest to be back on the podcast. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Truth be told, she reached out to the studio and said, hey, I enjoyed myself the first time. Can I bring this man with me this time? And this is the man right here. All right, the jokes.
I had a lovely time the first time I did.
Oh, okay.
I really did.
She just saying that for the show.
No, that is wholeheartedly the truth.
And we are so glad to have you back.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with Minister Darian, and I want you to share a little bit about yourself. Let's just start with share a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am young, able, and black. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be invited. I'm 41 years old.
Okay.
I'm a man of God. Mm-hmm. I'm a husband, a father. Mm-hmm. Many have called me a Renaissance man when it comes to the arts. God has blessed me a little bit in all of the fields.
Okay.
I'm intentional with loving God, loving people, sharing my gifts with others, helping others, and
Okay. And Dr. Toya, how would you look? There's lots of things, but just give us a brief synopsis.
Yes,
a little bit that you want the people to know about you.
I'm a wife, and I get so excited when I say that.
I love it.
Sure, we'll go into detail about that, but I'm his wife.
Yes.
Let's be clear on that.
Yes, that's right.
And I don't know. I'm a therapist, of course, as we know from the last time. A person who just loves to help people. Mm-hmm. Outgoing, love a good laugh, all of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So I'm going to do something a little different here. So, Darian, give me 3 words to describe your wife.
wow, unique.
Okay.
One of a kind. That was multiple words. Right? I thought it was so unique, loving, loyal.
Okay.
Oh, those were good. That's good.
And now, Toya.
Compassionate,
Okay.
patient, God-fearing. I don't know, it's 2 words.
Okay. I think that's a good way to start this. Okay. All right. So let's dive in. So this season we are talking about marriage, and as we dive into marriage, there are a lot of different stages of marriage, and there are a lot of just different phases of marriage. And so today we are going to talk about not only being divorced, but remarried. And so, Darian, we're going to focus the first part of the conversation on talking with you and getting to know your story, because you were previously married before this one.
Yes.
And so we want to dive into that and just try to understand some of the things that you gained from that experience, and potentially some of the things that you've brought into this your new marriage. So let's just dive right in. So tell us, how long were you previously married, And how long were you previously married? And how long before you got remarried?
So I was previously married for 6 years.
Okay.
That ended in 2017, and I remarried in 2023.
Okay. So you had some time to really kind of sit and think about some things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And in your sitting and thinking, what would you say were the most significant lessons that marriage taught you about yourself?
I would say more than anything is that I needed to be more considerate, more selfless,
Okay.
and that, because I kind of switched up to the questions. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's, I needed to be more selfless and considerate.
Okay.
Just letting you know, it's a safe space. You're comfortable. You ain't got to be rigid. Relax. Be yourself. Okay? Because the question I'm about to ask is, if you don't mind, like, was the two things that you mentioned, was those the causes, or you found out that this is a reaction to what was in the previous marriage? That like, when you came into the marriage, like, you got married, okay? You came in, this is who I am, but in there, was it something that grown, that caused you to be inconsiderate and to be selfish? Or was that you coming into that previous marriage like that? And then the marriage exposed it, that caused it to go separately?
I would say that there were things in me, especially being a only child on my mother's side, that was already in me, as far as my mannerisms, as far as being selfish in my thinking and or my behaviors. So yeah, that was already there.
So the marriage.
So the marriage heightened, or
highlighted it.
Right.
Yeah, it exposed it more.
It exposed it more. Okay. And was it like a mutual agreement, or was it one sided to say that this has to end? If you don't mind talking about it.
Yeah. It wasn't. I think at first it was hard to receive and to look at yourself in the mirror with certain things like that. Yeah. Because, as you may know, the ego doesn't like to be changed. It does not to be confronted.
Yeah.
So there was a thing, it may have been brought up by my ex, but originally it wasn't a mutual thing agreed upon.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So so you said you learned that you needed to be more considerate and more selfless. So what insight have you gained about yourself since your previous marriage? And what, in addition to those things, what do you feel like you wish you would have understood earlier?
The main thing is, I would say again, being selfless, and not just selfless in, I like to say, A and B and not C, because that C can be significant to the significant other. And so it's like, I could feel like, oh, well, I'm doing X, Y, Z over here, but I want to make sure that I'm being selfless in every area, that I can be.
Gotcha.
So, because sometimes, like I said, those little things, the nuances, the things that you leave out can be very significant to your significant other. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And so you divorced. You dealt with the pain of the divorce. So was it the fact of the divorce that allowed you to self-reflect, or was it something else in the midst of when you was divorced that saying, you know what, let me examine what went wrong? Like, was it like, what was the cause of your journey of self-reflection and healing to be today married? Was it divorce, or was it something else?
It was definitely the divorce. And then everything that came along after that. and just hearing stories from others, because, you never get married to get divorced.
Right.
And so, initially, you hear about statistics and you're like, oh, I don't want to be one of those type of persons. And, what are people going to say? Or, how is this going to look or even feel? And so, taking time to just self-reflect and put other people, other men specifically who have been through what I've been through.
Okay.
And see how they went through their journey of healing.
Okay.
And just restoration within themselves. That was really helpful. So just having this around a nice circle that was genuine and intentional about my betterment.
Okay.
That definitely helped.
That is. So I want to say this, and I'm not a man, so I don't know it to be completely true, but I feel like from what I've heard, it's very rare to have men that will surround you and challenge you in a way that pushes you to be better and really self-reflect. I know we as women, we do it all the time.
Right.
Like we're always like, girl, you need to, that wasn't good. You might want to check that. But I feel like from what I've heard, it's harder to find a group of men that you can trust enough.
Absolutely.
To be able to, so how did you find that group or locate that group of men?
Well, I definitely had a lot of bad examples of how I could have handled things.
Yeah.
But then I had, a lot of good examples. And just from my youth or my childhood or just the things I was around from when I was younger, stuff I saw or heard about, I was like, ugh, I never would want that to happen with me, or I would never want to experience that. I never want to initiate or involve myself in certain things that would lead me to go further on down, the rabbit hole, what matters. And so I wanted to go a different way. So seeing how others handle things and their consequences and how they, some people recovered, some people, they didn't, and they're still healing today. And so I wanted to be better for myself, for God, for my son, because he was definitely watching. He was a sponge. And so I wanted to do my best, to just be intentional, mind, body, and spirit. So yeah.
And during your journey, from what I'm hearing, getting married was not like, I want to be married again, wasn't the focal point. It was really you becoming whole was the focal point to go through the journey of healing during your divorce.
Right. Because she could tell you, I was not looking to remarry. At least not the time when we reconnected.
Okay.
Because I was still dealing with some things emotionally, mentally, that I hadn't healed from.
Gotcha.
Because after I divorced, I did date again. And even with some of those scenarios, it was like, ugh. Like, is this really what's going on out here? And
so you testing the waters and you say it's too cold. Or no, this is toxic.
And some things reminded me of the stuff that was
you had
in
just
my
come out
exactly.
of. Okay.
And then there was some things that I had to recognize within myself that I needed to improve in or heal from. So just analyzing all these things, and then I had one of my mentors. One of the best advice he told me, he said, son, you need to just fall in love with Jesus all over again. And when he said that, it was just like, some things kind of go over your head, and I'm a PK, been in church all my life.
Okay.
You hear stuff, but.
PK, because some people don't know what that is.
Pastor's kid.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
That explains you.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, just really pressing into that and honing into and just being closer to God. Getting more of my word, building more of my relationship, knowing God's character, learning that.
Okay.
and something I've learned even more is just learning who I am in Christ, whose I am, and my purpose, my God-given purpose as a man in the earth.
Yes.
You know?
Okay.
And you mentioned mentor. I was just wondering, like, what all the tools help you to be and to help you through your journey? Like, you know, you had your mentor, you had your group. Well, now actually it sounds like you had a big circle that you had to bring down to the right circle. Mm-hmm. And then in that right circle, you had your pillars in that circle that you leaned on, even though you got your circle, you got those other people there. I'm just like, was there anything else outside of, you know, falling back in love with God, and have that strong mentor that you actually hear from, not just talk to, but hear from? Was there anything else you used? Any other tools, therapy, anything?
Definitely went to therapy several times, and I watched conferences online. I attended conferences. Speaking of one particularly that really changed my life. Going to one of the Married Life conferences of Pastor Reggie Royal in London Royal. He said
Shout
something.
out, whoop, whoop.
Right. Shout out Lifeline. He said something. He said, we have to learn to kill our will for our spouse, for the glory of God. And but at first he just kept saying, kill your will, kill your will. We're like, what do you mean kill your will?
Right.
So he broke it down, you know, and this is just a scenario. If Sam likes his toilet paper under, you like yours over, are y'all gonna fall out about that? You know, is that gonna be right?
I mean, that's important.
Because it needs to be over. I don't even understand.
What you know?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Is there toilet paper in the bathroom? It could be sitting, it could be up and down. I need the TP. That's what it is. Is it there or not? That's why. That's pretty much how I am.
Yeah, you know.
But I get it.
Yeah, you know, not necessarily sweating the small things or letting a little molehill turn into a mountain.
Right.
You know, and how to deal with those matters and navigate through that. You know, and not just ruling your household with an iron fist. I'm like, well, I'm the man. This is going to be like this, and you know, being very rigid.
Yeah.
And not having flexibility, not compromising, things like that. You know, so that's basically, you know, what he was speaking about. You know, hey, God may not always give me the answer right away. He may give it to my wife. You know, give her direction or the know-how how to do something. So I have to swallow my pride. You know, listen. You know, and just sometimes just shut up. You know, and
Wait,
so,
you don't shut up today? Yeah, I heard it. Like,
goodness.
that's that. Listen to that. This the little things.
But yeah, so yeah, definitely. So I would say listening to other podcasts and conferences online, having a strong community, church community, things like that.
And you mentioned, you know, the little things, and this thought to me, you know, like some people may not know what's a little thing from a major thing. So how did you define the little things from the major things? Because a little thing may be major to another person, but they may not understand that because that little thing never existed in their upbringing.
Right.
But now this little thing to you is a major thing to them. So how do you identify or how you cope with someone who may take a little thing to you and make it major, but not to let it come to a point where say, you know what, this is not going to work. Like, how do you separate the two, or even deal with that if it occur?
Yeah, I believe it definitely takes conversation. You know, open and honest conversation, taking notes. You know, making mental notes, writing things down if you have to say, hey, she doesn't like peanut butter on whatever. I may like it, you know, and so if I shouldn't want to necessarily press her to like something that I may not care for, you know, And so, and you know, maybe ask more questions. You know, what's the background?
Get
of
some
this?
clarity. Yeah.
You know, why is this important, or why is this not? Why do you feel this is not important? So, doing a little bit of more investigation and inquiring about those little things versus the big things, and even within yourself.
Yeah.
So just and we even did a workbook.
Okay.
And it challenged us to ask our questions to ourselves and to each other. Okay. And it helped us to be able to now communicate those things that, things that may have been going on, but we may have not understood, well, why is this and why is that? So it challenged us to get more direct,
Gotcha.
And more in depth.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, because I was gonna move us backwards a little bit, but go ahead.
Okay, but you can go backwards. I was going to ask this one question. I am going to go backwards so we're in the right direction. When I asked the question about all the tools, and you mentioned conferences and sermons and talking to mentors and your group and therapy, how did you cipher what to listen to? Like, because there's a lot, you're getting a lot of information, but how do you decipher what is applicable from what you was hearing to help you get to the destination that you're going? Because that's a lot. You had a lot, which is great. Yeah. But how do you say, okay, I got 100 things coming at me now, all this can't fit. What is it that I need? Like, what was the guide? What was the cipher to say, yes, this is it. No, this is not.
I believe with me, it was definitely Holy Spirit to help me decipher going through that, to say the things I needed to bring immediate attention to for myself, whether it was just versus other things that were just good to know. I may have not experienced those other things, but I made a nugget. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know about this before, or I can use this in case I come to this situation.
Okay.
And so, the Holy Spirit definitely has, it helped a lot. Yeah.
All right, now you can go in backwards.
So I want to go back, but I want to go back to understand your origin story. Like, how did you all come together? Because you mentioned earlier that, when she came back into your life. So tell us how did you all come to be husband and wife?
Oh, thank you. So for those that don't know, we've been knowing each other since we were about 12 or 13 years old. This is my first boyfriend in the 8th grade.
Wow.
Dated, yes. Oh. We dated for
couldn't leave me alone.
No, really?
You planted a flag early, huh? Say, hey, I want you to remember me.
So we dated for about 3 years off and on in our teenage years. And of course, we were still in school, still remained friends, even after the relationship kind of just dissolved. And then after that, of course, things happened. He got married, and I ended up in a relationship that was 15 years long. And so I think we kind of reconnected around, I want to say 2020, maybe 2021, somewhere around there. And I think, and I'm going to be honest, because it's funny when I tell people, I saw a video of him working. Okay. And I think my first message to him was, your hands are ashy. You need to go put on some lotion. That was my message. And he responded, and he was like, girl, I'm working. And so from there, it was just conversation. And it's so crazy because I tell people we had that conversation as if we had never lost contact, as if there was not a 17-year gap of us not saying anything to each other. But we came back into the fold as if we had been talking all day, every day. And there was literally a 17-year space where we had not seen each other. We had not talked to each other.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
So you picked up where you left off.
Picked up where we left off. I can say that. Yeah.
From bubbly-eyed, cheery children to, now, very reality-based adults.
Yes. Life was happening fast and quickly.
With that teenager spirit behind it all.
Yes, teenage spirit, Got a little teenage spirit behind it, yes.
Okay. So what made you say this is, because you said you weren't planning on getting remarried. So what made you say, wait, there's something different about this. Maybe I should explore this more.
Come on, be honest.
So, I realized that she was very intentional.
Okay.
Okay. She had a good foundation upbringing as a young woman, and in regards to how to be with a man.
Okay.
As far as respect, as far as consideration, our mannerisms, being there, being supportive, speaking into, your inner man, and on all fronts.
Okay.
Mentally, emotionally, she was, emotionally mature, emotional intelligence. She was stable with, and I don't mean just on a physical or a monetary sense, but spiritually and mentally.
Okay. Look, that's important.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was, I realized that in the past I felt as if I had to be the one to either just always lead or always teach or always pour.
Okay.
And so she definitely helped me to, I guess, receive.
Yes.
Where
You had somebody who could pour back into you.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It was a safe place.
Okay,
The
glasses
glasses
off.
came off. It's deep conversation time.
Wait.
Look, I got to cross my seat. Marriage.
I love it.
Marriage. All right. So in essence, when you came back together, you saw the maturity. You saw a mature woman. So I'm going to pose this question to you.
Yes.
Was that always there, or was that because of the previous 15 years you developed it?
I'm going to say 50-50. I think with my upbringing, there was just some things that was just instilled in us. There was just some things we had to do and we had to know. In that 15-year relationship, I was much younger than the individual. So I felt like I had to grow up a little quicker than I probably wanted to.
Okay.
Because I was put into situations that was well beyond my years that I probably shouldn't have had to deal with. And so just learning from those situations kind of made me have to get into this mature area of life kind of quick. And I wouldn't say it was a bad thing. It wasn't all bad and it wasn't all good, but I learned from that. And so I think that's what made me into the individual that I'm in, that you see today.
So the 15 years was the preparation for you to be the wife that you are today.
I would say so. I would say so. It taught me a lot of what I did not want because I was only 19 when I got into the relationship. I had no idea what I wanted. I didn't even know if I wanted to go to school or not. So let alone making very tough decisions about what I wanted in a man was not, I mean, coming from the family, we couldn't have boyfriends. And I know my family don't listen to this, we couldn't have boyfriends. So you didn't know what to even look for in a partner. Like, what's my non-negotiables? What am I okay with? What am I not okay with? I had no idea. I'm still a kid, technically.
Essentially.
Yeah. So, and, I had to learn those things.
And back to you, it seemed like it was revelational for you of the character of what she has. Was that something you always was looking for, or was that something you just became aware to because of your journey from your past, from your previous marriage?
I would say a little of both. Because being in my previous marriage, there were some things that I accepted or I tolerated, and I knew it wasn't maybe the best to my best benefits.
Okay.
You know, or for my health, good for my health.
Okay.
And you know, just being around her, and as we developed our new relationship, I noticed that certain things I probably had to be I felt kind of cautious or eerie about. She let me know, hey, it's okay. And so just being able to open up, being transparent with some things.
Which was difficult for him.
Yeah.
It was very difficult.
Well, how long were you all in your reconnected friendship before you decided, let's take this and you know, transition into a relationship?
This was, 2020, like after later on in the year, late in the year, is when the conversation started. And she actually opened up to me as far as how she still had feelings for me, basically.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
from all those
Shot
years.
my shot.
From all those years past.
You presented. You presented. He shot because he could not have received the presentation.
Yeah. Thank you. No. And so she opened up about some things, and I was shocked, you know, and there were some things that I was just timid about because, you know, I was actually fresh out of a relationship, you know, the year prior to. And so I was discouraged on a lot of different fronts. And, you know, I questioned a lot of stuff, you know. And then there was, I have to be honest, you know, there was a past time when we were in high school, and, you know, she kind of broke my heart a little bit, you know. You know.
And so he still hung on to that.
Listen, that puppy love can sometimes take you out. It leaves some real scars. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that. I thought he was joking, but he was very, very serious. Very serious. And I was like, okay. So I had to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
So
hit me right here.
But y'all discussed it, you know.
we did.
Remember that time I was at the locker?
Yeah. You know, that was really a real conversation because I'm like, boy, I was 16. And then to me, it didn't hold as much weight as it did for him. So now as an adult, I'm looking like, man, that really did
impact
him and how he maneuvered in other spaces in his life. And so I had to bite the bullet on that one.
So basically, you're the more, I want to say, intimate, emotional of the two. Yeah. Because if you held on to that and she moved on, or was that doesn't? Thank you. Or is that more so the commitment you have into the relationship, the investment you put in? Because you said she broke your heart and you remembered it.
He did.
And then I'm also in the part two. Answer the part. In the part two, did that carry into your first marriage?
Yes.
Huh.
So
News to me.
I'm trying to go back. You had a loaded question. Just, you know, because she was like my first little puppy love, you know, girlfriend. And that experience did affect the way I kind of, you know, in my development, because I was still teenagers. You know, just going through that whole process and navigating through all of that, because I didn't know, I wasn't aware about counseling back then.
Right.
Teenager and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So just trying to navigate through all of that the best you could, seeing other examples, you know, whether it's men in my church or, you know, men in my family or whatever. Just dealing with all of that, and just, I think just looking at how I was functioning before versus how I could be.
Yeah.
Like if there was areas of opportunity that I could make to be better, just weighing all that stuff out, just to see, like, I used to watch the Cosby Show all the time, right? And I know this sitcom and it's fictional or whatever,
Right.
you know, that was an imprintation on me. So, and it's in other shows and in other couples, being at my old church and seeing the deacons and the deaconesses and the pastors and the first ladies come in, and you know, I admired that. Yeah. You know, that was something that I wanted to emulate within, you know, when I did get married. Yeah. And so and then even though the family dynamics, you know, I was real big on family. And so, you know, come from a very loving, caring, generous family. And so when something like that happened, like with that being my first relationship, you know, as a teen, and then the heartbreak, it was like, well, this is different. Right. You know, I don't know, you know, it hurts.
Yeah. And you just don't want to hurt like that anymore.
Right.
So what can I do differently to not hurt this way?
Right.
And protect.
You know, and I'm thinking, and she would say she would watch the shows and stuff and things too. So I'm thinking like, well, you know, we have built a friendship. So I'm thinking like, well, how can this person have hurt me like this? You know, and so it made me more cautious. Yeah. It was a blow to you know, my conscience. You know, just even being sure of who I am. Yeah. You know, as a man, and not let that pain turn me, you know, into a negative type of vibe. Yeah. You know, going with people or with the relationships. You know. So you say more cautious, would you say more guarded? Yeah. As well. So as you move forward, maybe you weren't as open, or maybe you were just looking for any sign of what you experienced before, because wait, hold on, that might lead to some heartbreak. Right. So let's not go there. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Most definitely. I mean, because we are human, we adapt. Yeah. So as we go through life, have different experiences and experience different, you know, trauma. We learn how to adapt so that doesn't happen again. I mean, you know more than most. so yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I was just asking the question because, you know, like our pastor said, historical makeup. And because of the fact you was an early age, like you said, you didn't have the counseling, you didn't know how scarring and deep that went, that it could have built the, could have built up that character that when you went into that relationship, that inconsiderateness and all that stuff, because in essence, you felt that she was inconsiderate of your feelings at that time when she hurt you. Right. Yeah. And so, you know, because it's a breeding ground. Like, oh man, hold on now. Yeah. I got your tuna fish, and you said, and I brought it to you, and you did this, you know, and I ain't trying to go deep, but I ain't gonna lie. We can talk offline. I want to know, what did you do to hurt my man at 8 and then back in the teenage days?
Not at 8, Lord have mercy. Okay. Moving on. All right.
No, you gotta answer.
No. And it's, on a serious note, and another thing I want to mention is that I have to realize too that just because I was around that culture of married couples and seeing that reflected on TV, the Cosby shows and all that stuff, I had to realize that not everybody wanted to be married or had that desire to have that type of lifestyle, you know. So I'm thinking like, marriage is great, right? Yeah, you know, it's something that we should want to do, and it's, you know, it's a God appointed thing, and you know, but everybody has their journey. Yes. Right. Everybody has different historical makeups, and some people may put on a front because it feels good or it looks good, or I want to shoot for that way, but in reality, behind closed doors, you're not really even mentally ready, emotionally or spiritually. Yeah. You know. So, yeah.
So you mentioned that you have a son from your previous marriage, and you do not have to answer this question if you do not want to answer the question. But the question is to the two of you: how have you been able to navigate, that still rearing your son, because I know that you're very present in his life. So how have you been able to navigate that space and you navigate that space, but then also navigate with the previous relationship and then navigate within your marriage?
For me, as a person who does not have children, he made that process easy. Okay. The person I dated before had children, but I had no interaction with them. Okay. So there was no, let's go out to dinner, get to know your kids. It was none of that. Mm-hmm. Did I see them? Yes. Did I speak? Yes. But there was no relationship. Coming in and dating him, the first thing I was like, I don't want to ever meet anybody's kids right away. Okay. Like, I want to get to know you first, ease that in, because, as even having gone through that as a child, I'm like, I don't want to meet somebody right away because I don't know if you're going to be around long, See. So he took his time with that, which I appreciated. Yeah. And it was like, this is my son, and I respect it. Like, this is your child. Your child comes first. But he eased me into that situation, and I appreciated that.
Okay.
Oh.
We can move on.
If you don't want to talk about it, ain't no problem.
We don't have to.
No, I was very cautious, about bringing my son, around another person or my significant other.
Yeah.
And because I'm always going to be his father, he's always going to be my son, and so just even navigating that whole piece of, letting my son know that, hey, as he got older, because the question did come up, well, what happened to you and mom, and going from there into now me being with someone else.
Yeah.
And then as he got older, hearing his voice, his opinion on things, and what he felt, even about her.
Yeah.
So that was important. So I took time with that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I respect that. That's it. And I know you can't speak for your son, but it sounds like you did your best to make sure that not only you were comfortable, but he was comfortable and she was comfortable. Yeah. Because everybody needs to coexist.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Peace. Both fronts.
Very good. Very good.
In that comfortableness, I'm just wondering, how was the ex? How you dealt with the ex in this situation? Because you mentioned you being comfortable, your son being comfortable, you being comfortable, but through him, she's in this as well. So how did that work out? Where she's, if you don't want to talk about it, because I know she's not here to speak on it.
Right.
So I do want to respect that, but if you don't want to talk about it, we can move on.
I
would just say that it's a process.
Okay.
It's a process.
Okay.
So.
All right.
So on that, a question for you, Toya. As you came back into his life as a friend, and you have had to watch him navigate some things.
Yeah.
How do you feel like I guess that's really not. It's because you really hadn't talked for 17 years.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably not even a relevant question. So I might just skip that one. I'll just edit that out because it
might be relevant.
She's interested now.
I'm intrigued.
Well, the question I was going to ask is, how has watching his life after divorce, how has that shaped your understanding of marriage?
Ooh. See, that is a relevant question.
Okay, all right.
Watching him, and he mentioned something earlier about him being guarded. Mm-hmm. It taught me patience, which is something he can tell you. He's been knowing me a long time. I do not have. I have no patience. But it taught me how to be gentle and how to be a safe space for him. And in us being married, it took a while for him to actually open up and share things with me, because I know there was probably a time, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, where sharing things probably just fell on dry land. It just didn't land where it was supposed to. He didn't feel safe in those spaces. And by me being a therapist, by training, some of that came into play. I was never trying to be his therapist, but those skill sets were useful in our marriage, because it was like, I'm the type of person, I'm going to say what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it.
Okay.
Your feelings at that time did not matter to me. But when it came to him, I was like, I can't use what I used with somebody else with him. I can't bring that type of dynamic into this relationship, because this is a entirely different person.
Okay.
And so it taught me how to be patient, how to be a safe space for him.
Okay.
He mentioned the Cosby shows and the church. So what was your examples of marriage? Because you had a 15-year relationship, but you technically wasn't married.
Praise God.
So, in the state, that'd be like common law. I don't know if you live together. I don't need no. But I'm just like, what was your examples? What helped molded you and say, this is what marriage is until you got married?
When I was younger, I had my grandmother and my grandfather, but I was very young. So I can't really remember much of their marriage. But I remember that they got along and they loved each other. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of TV, like he mentioned, and then just seeing other people out in the world. And there were some examples where I was like, I would never. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But even for the women who were not married in my family, they still gave great advice.
Okay.
Let a man be a man. If you all are having trouble, you don't let the world know that you are having trouble. You handle that behind closed doors. But in front of everybody, you hold a hand, you kiss, you hug, you talk lovingly to each other. So I used all of those things.
Okay.
And that's what kind of helped me come into this marriage. And then I think we was just learning from each other.
Yeah.
And I'm the type, I love to ask questions. What are some things that you would like to see in this marriage that you didn't see in the first one?
Okay.
How do you want me to show up in this marriage?
Yeah.
Those were some questions that I asked collectively. And then I had to ask myself, like, how do I want to show up in this space? Because I knew how I was showing up in this other space.
Gotcha.
And I didn't like it.
Okay. Okay.
And so I knew that I couldn't bring that residue into this situation if I wanted it to work and to last.
So it sounds like you took some good inventory.
I did.
And said, let me do some work.
Yeah. And even, coming into our marriage, I still had a lot of work. He can tell you, I communicate because that's part of my job, but there were still some holes that needed to be fixed, and how I talked about things and how sometimes I'm very private. He know that. I was private in our marriage. It's like, what's going on with you? And I wouldn't share because I didn't have that safe space before. And so one of the things I do want to touch on, because when he came back into my life, I was not doing well physically. So for most people who didn't know, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And so when he came in, it was at the height. I was not the best physically or mentally. And so he came in on that. And he hit the ground running with the things like, you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't be doing this. And so I wasn't used to that. And so I wouldn't tell him everything. So he'll be like, how you feel today? I'm fine. And life is in shambles. I am not feeling well. I'm hurting.
You just didn't want to be challenged. Like, don't challenge me right now.
I didn't want to be challenged.
And don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do. But I also would hear people say, I wouldn't tell a man that I have something physical going on because they wouldn't see you as a woman, or they may think less about you. So I would be like, I'm okay, I'm good.
Wow.
And all the time, I'm like, bodies feel like somebody is like ripping the skin off of me. Like, you know what I mean? And so he's like, you have to learn how to be honest.
Yeah.
So you presented a safe space for him, but you didn't recognize the safe space that he presented.
Yes.
Because of because the blockers of what
Correct.
you're doing. And did you feel that you presented a safe space, or you were still developing it when y'all got back, when you finally like got back in, or at that moment?
I felt like I was presenting a safe space. But then just from what I had learned from being able to listen and read between the lines with things in general, and this came through my healing and everything, from as far as what I learned from my previous marriage, learning when to listen for what's not being said.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
And then I was able to pick up on certain cues from her.
Okay.
You know, so just correlating all that stuff together, I was like, okay, you said you okay, but no.
Oh, he's good at it now.
So yeah, you know, and just being able to discern, you know, having to get the discernment with things, you know, definitely helped. So.
Okay. So, one more divorce question. What advice would you offer somebody who's recently divorced and is beginning what we hope would be a journey of healing? Because I realize everybody doesn't go on a journey of healing. Some people stay and they hold it and they never get rid of
somebody
it.
else.
Yeah, but you did the work.
Yes.
You chose to do the work. And so my question is, what advice would you give to somebody who is starting a journey of divorce?
Don't be afraid to take that journey of healing. Take that first step. Whatever that first step is, whether it's just you sitting down and talking to somebody to say, hey, I recognized I was at fault, or these are my areas of improvement that I need to make. Take that first step, whether it's talking to a mentor, talking to a pastor, talking to a counselor. Don't be afraid to be challenged. It's all going to mold you to be better.
Yeah.
You know, help you heal. You don't want to get out of mess with mess and go into something else with mess.
Right.
Because you're
Just
just
gonna
have a big old pile of mess.
Yeah.
You know, and so you don't want to bleed out
Yes.
on other people.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, definitely take that first step. You know, hold that mirror up to your face and realize, hey, you ain't got it all together.
Yeah.
You know, and don't hold yourself in condemnation.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like I said, I was caught up in thinking about the worldly stuff as far as the statistics and this percentage of people is getting divorced and how that's going to look, and you know, worried about your image and all that stuff. And that's something that I learned. I had to let go of that pride.
Yes.
I had to let go of that pride because, as you know, pride goes before the fall.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
And would it be safe to say to ask the question of, for those who maybe male or female going through divorce, ask the question from, you know, granted you still need to be healing, but should I even consider being married again? You know, look at your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You know, like, especially depending on how the divorce is. You know, every divorce is different, every reason is. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I think that because when we were separated, that was a question we had to ask ourselves. Mm-hmm. And then question is like, okay, do we want to be married? Mm-hmm. Should I be married? Mm-hmm. Or do I want to be married but not with you?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do I still want to be married to you?
Right. You know,
Legit question.
Yeah.
you know,
Legit question.
and I think because of the fact if you ask those questions first, then you can really say, okay, I don't want to be married, but I do need to work on myself. Or even then, or whatever decision is, I want to, whatever question you answer yes to, then you got to ask yourself, okay, do I want to stay the same? Mm-hmm. And just hope someone could deal with all my sanity and all that. Right. Or what can I change? What do I need to actually confront? Because, you know, nothing too, you just want to make sure that after you've been through what you've been through, you actually coming out better than what you, to be better than what you.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, regardless.
That should be the goal.
That should be.
That's not everybody's goal, but
Not
that
everybody's
that should be the goal.
But we're encouraging people today that, you know,
Absolutely.
Yes.
ask the question, okay, first of all, do I want to be married again? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Do I want to continue to be the person or do I want to be something different? You know, or no, I just want to be by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of times, like in my case, I came from one dependency to another dependency. So I've never been independent.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And so the second separation, we had that year of being independent. It was very comfortable. Now, I ain't gonna lie, it was cool being independent. I wish I had done it early
Yeah.
Gotcha.
because it really prepared me to understand how to deal with the world. Because when you come from one dependency to another dependency, you don't really know how to handle things on your own.
Right.
Because you automatically, well, I'm coming from my parents and I'm with my wife. And, you know, well, I don't know what you, and it's,
And what I'll say to that is being independent and living on your own, it builds your character in a way that you don't really, you can't, nothing else can build your character like living on your own.
Right.
Because you're responsible for everything.
Right.
And you really get to see yourself before you point the finger at somebody else.
Right.
Because I feel like it helps you to get to know yourself.
yeah.
Not that everybody has to, you know, live by themselves or any of that. Some people can do that introspection and they can have that introspection without that. But I feel like there are some things that you just don't know about yourself until you are literally by yourself and you're the only person in the space. So, like, even stuff as simple as, you know, stuff people get upset about, taking out the trash, cleaning up the house, da da da. It's like, well, okay, are you really that clean on your own?
Right.
Right.
You're upset and you want somebody else to do all of these things and bring all these
Exactly.
different things to the table,
But you don't do it.
But you don't even clean your own house.
Right.
Like, you know, so okay, let's back this train up
Yeah.
and say, oh, well, maybe we both need to contribute to this activity because neither one of us enjoys cleaning. We know this
Right.
about ourselves, but we know we can't live in a pig pen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think in that too can also, I think another thing people don't consider is hyper independency. Because I'm very hyper independent.
Okay.
I will get it done, do it on my own. I will move the couch. I don't care.
Who you telling, huh?
You know, and it was difficult being married and like having to realize like, oh, there's this other human that lives
That
in
could
this
help.
house. But that would actually say like, you know, I'll do that. But I'm like, I was so used to just doing things on my own that it was like, I forgot that there is, my husband is here to lighten the load. But I was just like, I can do it. I'll get it done and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait, slow down. Because in a sense, that disregards him.
Yes.
It makes a person not feel like they're part of the equation.
like they're not needed or valued.
Exactly.
And go ahead.
In that experience, she's, I don't want to say you hyper independent,
But I am independent.
She's very strong. She's not independent. She's not hyper independent, but she's strong independent.
I've come a long way, people. I've come a long way.
She's strong independent. She now has no problem saying help.
Right.
But the one thing, you know, and because, well, beginning the marriage, I wasn't really the helpful person. I admit it. You know, I'm more helpful now. But one thing I did tell her, the one thing I was trying to get at is this. Knowing who she is, we're going to do it. She's going to call on me when she needs me. I'm here. If she needs me, she needs me.
Yes.
And when she called, and this is just me.
Yeah.
When you calling me go, and I still help, but that's just who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
But it took us to learn. It took us to learn that, and then the me just said, okay, you know, wait, that's what you, because that's what she likes. She's very hands on,
And
and that's what you got to understand about the other person.
Yeah.
And every once in a while now he'll watch me struggle with something. He's like, do you need some help?
Sounds familiar.
And I'm like,
Literally.
yes.
Right.
Literally. I'm sitting there watching the movie. I'm like, are you good?
And apologizing. Yes. She almost threw up the first time she had to
I
really
thought I
apologize.
was having a
Oh
stroke.
my God.
The first time you had to apologize, I thought I was having a stroke.
goodness.
I really did. You know, I
Taking
think
accountability.
I think what people
My God, today.
I feel like, you know, before everyone gets married, I really do feel like everybody needs to go to premarital therapy and do all of those things.
For sure.
Because it made me realize that in my family, we don't apologize. And so it took my generation to realize that these people in this family we really don't apologize. Like, we don't hear, you know, I'm sorry. It was always, I'm sorry if you felt like
that's not an apology.
And so when I was going to therapy, you know, my therapist was like, well, did you apologize to your husband? I said, well, I said, I'm sorry if, and she was like, that is not an apology. And so when I really had to sit down and learn to say, I'm sorry, I thought I was having a stroke. My chest, I literally ran out of the room. I told him, I'll be right back.
Oh my God.
I said, I will be back.
So dramatic.
Before or after you say I'm sorry?
That was before. I couldn't get the part out. I couldn't
Like it's
get it
kryptonite.
out. And I was like, I'll be back. And I had to like get myself together because I'm like, in my mind, admits defeat. I'm like, I shall never. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
we got to practice.
Yes.
So I
Go
would
ahead,
be in the mirror like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. So I had to practice.
We went to the extent of researching, just like there are the 5 love languages.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are
Apology
apology
languages.
languages.
Really?
Yes, by the same author.
Okay.
We took the test
Yeah,
because it was bad.
Took it. I encourage that all the couples
It was
do it.
bad.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It
was
Your
bad.
apology language.
My
Apology language. Yep.
Okay. I have to check that out.
Yeah.
I've gotten better at I feel like he's always been pretty decent at apologizing, but
decent.
when I say pretty decent, because it's one thing to say the words I'm sorry, but it's
But to
another
actually
thing
meet
to
the action.
Yes, for the action to change.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
that's why I say always have been pretty
We
decent.
talking about saying the words I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, he was good. He didn't mind saying he was sorry, but it's
But
like,
it's the
okay, but
action.
is there change behavior behind that? And so, but I struggled to say I'm sorry. It wasn't that bad, but I struggled to say the words because it was just like, and maybe it was feeling like I was feeling defeated. Like I don't know, but like it doesn't take anything from me to apologize.
Yeah.
It used to take like weeks.
Yeah.
Now in minutes and hours, I can come back like, you know what?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through this. I was feeling this. I am sorry. That's not the way I wanted to come off.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Woo, woo. Like
Yeah.
with and it has. I feel like it has helped us.
And to tag on to that, I had to learn the fact that even though what she did hurt me, that doesn't mean she didn't love me. Because in the beginning, when that happened, I'm like, what the word? You ain't gonna, because she didn't see the fault in it. But even though this is what you did to me, but the fact was because of what I did was magnified by the like Hiroshima and Nagasaki when she had the firecracker too. But yet, to me, the impact of that firecracker was like Hiroshima.
Yeah.
And that's going back to the little things is major to some.
Yeah.
And what's little to you is major to another.
Yeah.
And that's where but I have to learn that even though in that, there's still love.
Right.
Because it wasn't malicious, or in some cases it may be because of the fact of the emotion took over the intention of the love that say, hey, I'm being serious, but I don't want to hurt you.
Right.
But, when things like that happen, like this recently we had something happen, and I'm not gonna lie, the Holy Spirit will let you know, assess the situation. You see what's happening. Think about what led up to this. Yeah. You trying to do something, she's trying to do something.
Right.
So there's a lot of going on. It's not intention, but it did come out because she got all the things that's going on came out this way.
Yeah.
Right.
And next thing I know, I'm like, all right, ain't nothing. I'm just gonna go on by my business. I feel, and she heard it in my tone, but I know she loved me. Next thing I know, she got a call. Hey, look, was not my intention to come out that way. I know it may sound this way. I'm sorry. There's just a lot going on. And I even say a lot going on, but I also learned is I receive.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you can get apologized to, but you never say I receive. Then are you really open to receive the apology?
Exactly.
Or you want that person to really understand the depths of your pain? And I ain't gonna lie.
You want to punish them.
Or you want to punish them.
Yeah.
And there are some times, and I ain't gonna say, I receive right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm like, well, hold on, let me make sure, am I in the position to forgive you?
Right.
Because you might not be. Yeah.
Or that might be time to say, look, let's take a moment. I
Yeah.
need to explain certain things. I need you to understand why I felt this way and
Right.
why this happened. But that also takes time of one, presenting yourself as a safe space and identifying the safe space.
Absolutely.
And then that's where love of God comes in, because every marriage, it should be founded and centered around God,
Yeah.
because he is the expression of love.
Absolutely.
And in that, we become, he's like the conduit to help us to understand.
Right.
And that's what we learned in a second.
Yeah, we definitely can relate, because there were times when certain things would happen and I would either convey something to her, and it may have been in a passionate way, and she may have,
And I
somewhat,
heard it a different way.
yeah.
Yep.
And so sometimes what I meant for good,
Yeah.
or to help her, she was offended by it.
Right.
And it wasn't necessarily even just me. I wasn't saying it in a meaningful way, but it was just, I guess she had never been challenged in a certain area before, and so when she would react, I would pause and say, now, wait a minute. Is this something, are you taking this out? Is this something that I did or I said that's making you feel this way? Or is it something triggering from your past that you experienced?
Good question.
Right.
That's causing you to receive or think that I'm,
Attacking you.
yeah,
Yeah.
So we have to deal with that and navigate through all of that. So I would definitely encourage couples to do that. And to also, your believer, know about being equally yoked. Have to be equally yoked.
What does that mean?
It's not necessarily, not everything is 50-50. Not everything is 50-50. She may be stronger in one area. I may be not as strong in another area, but it balances out, right? I may be more knowledgeable in something versus her, as long as it balances out, that's where, some people, they get it twisted, thinking that, oh, well, I got to be making $100,000 a year, and you got to be making $100,000 a year, and if it ain't that, we can't roll, we can't rock.
I mean, that's ideal, but that's not reality.
It's not
Yeah,
reality.
right. Or I gotta be a size or whatever the women's sizes are that are ideal.
The women's side.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta weigh this much, and I'm weighing this much, and I drive this type of car. You gotta drive this type of car. No, that's not what equally yoked is about. You have to be spiritually disciplined. Mind you, everyone is on their own journey. Neither one of us have arrived.
Right.
We're still growing.
Yep.
But even in coming into our relationship, yes, I understood church. I had a relationship with God and everything. Her story was a little different. She'd been in church when she was younger, but as she got older, drifted away, which we all have done at some point in time. And so just coming to understand what it is, having more of a relationship with God, so she was able to receive, me teaching her things with that, because a person, if they're more seasoned spiritually, doesn't necessarily mean they're not a good person, a good fit for you.
True.
You know what I mean? Because if their heart is pliable and ready to receive, then we can grow.
Right.
Even with that. So yeah, definitely make sure you're equally yoked. I always encourage like I mentioned before, know who you are. I would even say first, know whose you are. You know, that's getting to know God more, getting to know his character, his word. Because as you do that, it will be revealed who you are in him. Yeah. You know, those characteristics and qualities that make you unique and different, and make you special. And so, thirdly, to know your purpose as a man or as a woman in the earth. What were you put into this earth for, in a relationship? What is the man's role? What is the woman's role? Right?
And that could look different in every relationship.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You know, so, but the basis, the basis, you know, should be biblical, right? It should stand on biblical principles, right? Yes. The man being the provider and the protector and the priest in the household, the woman being the nurturer, you know, those type of essentials. So, yeah.
So when you actually answered one of the questions that I was going to ask, but no, it's good. I like it. I like it. That means that the conversation is flowing just as it should. So because the question was going to be like, how has your relationship with God influenced you? And it sounds like it has definitely guided you through every stage of your journey.
Right.
So what do you go ahead?
How God influenced you? Because that's what he said. How it influenced you in this.
And like he said, I'm reconnecting to God and doing all of that stuff. And I had to, in this space, I had to learn how to hear from him because I was so used to just following my own advice.
Okay.
The greatest. And so I had to learn how to center myself and learn how to hear his voice in this process. Because there are times where I'm in the beginning, because we've had some challenges in the beginning that kind of just had me question, like, Lord, do I need to be married? Should I be married? Is this the path for me? And so I had to learn how to just stop talking and learn to listen and learn how to hear his voice and understand the woman that he wanted me to be within this marriage. That I had my own idea of what it was, but I think God had another idea of what it should be.
So some people would ask the question like, well, what do you mean by hear God's voice and how do you hear God's voice? And so can you kind of unpack that a little bit?
Yeah. So I think we have a lot of worldly things that we turn to as far as when it comes to marriage, but I had to learn how to get into the word.
Okay.
And he's taught me that. And I had to get into scripture and learning how to put scripture to the things that were showing up in our marriage to kind of fix those problems and not leaning on, because it's easy to go outside and ask somebody, Valeria, what would you do? And get that advice. Don't use it.
Might be good, might be trash.
It might be a little trash. And, you don't want to start bringing all those outside influence into your home, because now it becomes something very different. And I always wanted to keep my marriage sacred to us. I'm not saying not take advice for the people that love you and want to do better, but you got to learn how to decipher.
Yes.
And what to keep and what not. And so I was like, I'll turn to my mom. That's shout out to Sylvia Patterson. I love my mommy because she was a big part of this. And so I listened to her, but she'll also tell me, pray about it.
Yeah.
See what God wants you to do in this. She said, because I know as a mother, she's speaking from a motherly place,
right?
What she wants for her child. But, talk to God and see where he would lead you in these places. So I would definitely say for me, reading the Bible, praying more, just spending that quiet time has helped me a lot.
Okay. We've mentioned purpose a lot, excuse me, in this conversation. And so what do you all believe is your purpose together? Because I believe that that when God brings couples together, that he brings them together for a purpose. So how do you feel like you all are still discovering what your purpose is, or do you feel like what your purpose is together?
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. It was always a desire of mine to be in a power couple where we are movers and shakers in God's kingdom.
Okay.
Where we're helping others, we're doing ministry together, making an impact in the kingdom for His glory. And so just simply being obedient, you know, to God and just following His lead and helping others as we help ourselves. And her coming in, she was already in the mental health field, and I told her, I said, you have a gift. You have a gift of helps, you know, and I know I have a gift of helps as well. So I believe, like I mentioned before, part of coming to know you who you are, who you are in Christ, that definitely helped us to realize that we're supposed to be helping people.
Okay.
You know, seriously, like helping couples. You know, we're not perfect by a long shot.
Right.
But we've, you know, through the grace of God, we've learned, we've experienced things, we've gained wisdom and understanding how to apply that wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I mentioned before, it's a lot of bad examples out here. You know, got stuff on television, media, whatever. And, you know, a lot of people that have twisted views about marriage. You know, and so just us upholding the standard, you know, of what God intended marriage to be. I believe that He has called us to not only be an impact or be helpful towards each other, but towards the world, you know, in our communities, our little world.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And how long have you all? I should have asked this earlier, but how long have you all been married?
2 years and 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many days?
She had the months on there.
I had the months because, you know, it'll be 4 months on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
technically Wednesday.
So you all have really. It sounds like because you did so much work prior to, and you did the premarital counseling, like you did your individual work and you did premarital counseling, you all have been able to establish pretty quickly what you wanted your marriage to look like.
Yeah.
I would say so.
You came in with wisdom.
Yeah. And I think we kind of knew, like, this is what individual, like, this is what I'll stand for. This is what I can't. These are things I'm willing to compromise on.
Yes.
And I think that was something I was like, look, what are your non-negotiables? Because I don't want to do anything that's going to trigger you or remind you of something. So we have to talk about what this is going to look like. Because I told him, I said, I can't come in on shaky foundation. Like, we can't start that.
Right.
Come on.
And I was like, it's like with anything you build, you can't build it on rocky ground. So I was like, we have to have some type of understanding when we're coming into this space with one another, what we want that to look like.
Yes.
Now, are there going to be some chips and some cracks along the way? Absolutely. But can we remodel this? Yeah, we can. Can we fix this? Of course we can.
Right.
But having those conversations first, and I feel like starting out as friends, being this is as a person that I liked as a human, and I told him, even if I were not married to you, I like you as a person and I would have you as a friend.
Gotcha.
And so having that understanding made it easy.
So is his hands ashy now?
No, and they are well moisturized.
That's what a good help me to do for you.
I can't be with a man with ashy hands, work or not. Your hands better not be ashy even while you work.
Hilarious.
So I guess to kind of wrap things up, because I would still consider the two of you newlyweds. You're in this newlywed stage, and I love it for the two of you.
Thank you.
When I look at you, I can see that you love one another. I can see that there is intention. And
In coordination.
yes,
always the coordination.
Always the coordinated couple.
Wait a minute. What's the lining looking like?
Yes. I can see the intention and just it's sometimes you can no, I don't want to say that, but I can see from the two of you that it is important that you honor one another,
Yes,
and that you respect one another, and that you love one another. Like that. That is it. In early conversation, when I first, met you, because I knew Darian first. Like when I met you, I was like, she is very intentional. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I can appreciate that about you, but I can appreciate that about your relationship because you all both want to be here.
yes,
Right.
And you both want to be in it for the long haul.
Absolutely. My favorite tagline is, "I don't play about my husband," and I don't.
And you
And I don't.
And you don't.
And I don't.
I can tell by the smile.
My goodness.
Yeah, that joker like smile. Yeah. She don't play with me, y'all.
So what kind of as you are building this marriage to last, what advice would you give to I asked you about advice that you would give to a man who is navigating this new journey, but now to you, what kind of advice would you give to a woman who is entering into a relationship, a marriage for the first time with somebody who has been previously married? Like what advice would you give?
I would say definitely be open with the communication. Have hard conversations. I feel like a lot of us shy away from conversations because we are afraid of what our partner may think and or say during those times. But be open with your communication. Be transparent about how you're feeling within your marriage. Because when you're first starting in, you want to be this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed couple. You want all of these things. But there may be some things that come up. And know that your spouse should be, it doesn't happen all the time, but they should be your safe space. You should feel comfortable enough to say, hey, babe, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z. But just being transparent, being open, being honest about however you're feeling or whatever is coming up for you in those conversations. And just be okay with having uncomfortable conversations.
Ooh-wee.
And it's difficult. It's difficult. It's just like I tell my students when you're doing therapy. It's okay. You have to have those uncomfortable conversations because if you don't grow.
Correct.
I don't know. And be open to receiving feedback. I don't call it constructive criticism. I call it constructive feedback.
Okay.
Be open to that because I need to know how I'm showing up as a wife. And I do check-ins with them. How are you feeling in this marriage?
Yeah.
How am I showing up as a wife? Are you satisfied? Are there areas of improvement? Because I can't grow as a wife if I'm just always shutting him out, not asking the questions.
I feel like both the spouses should do that.
And I told him to ask me.
And you have to be, but you also have to be open to receive
Yes.
what the other person is saying.
Yeah.
Because that could go left.
Yeah.
But if you're open to receiving, you really want to do the work.
Exactly.
Then it would make a grand difference.
And I couldn't come in just because we've been knowing each other almost 30 years. I couldn't assume that I knew him.
Right.
I had to relearn him as a grown man.
Yes.
That has had a past, that has a son and all of these things. So just because I've been knowing him since I was 15, you can't assume that because we should always be evolving. And if we're not, that's a problem. But we should always be evolving as humans. And so that's why I always check in with him hey, how are things flowing? Is it something we need to work on? So those are the things that I would say.
Okay.
Anything you? Well, I know it's directed, but you're now married.
Yeah. I would just say, just learn to be selfless. One thing my pastor Royal mentioned before, he said, the biggest problem in relationships is selfishness. Everything stems from selfishness. And so whether it's like infidelity or abuse, abandonment, neglect, whatever, it all stems from selfishness. So just analyze where you may have a lot of selfish ways within your thinking and or your behaviors, and try to heal, unlearn some stuff, and get growth, get help where you need it and grow. You know, you should always want, like she mentioned, you know, should always be going to the next level and something growing. You know, you may have been, this 20% may have worked with this person before, but now you're with someone else. So now you may need to increase to 40% or 60, you know, however that may work out for you. So, but yeah, just learn to be selfless. Because that thing, it helped me, and not just marriage, but in every type of relationship, business, family, just try to be selfless and give people grace. You know, God gave us grace. He forgave us. Learn to forgive. Forgive yourself.
Yeah, forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself. Don't hold, you know, I keep saying my pastor. You know, shout out to pastor. But he mentioned everyone is greater than their last mistake.
Yes.
You know, you are not your last mistake. You are not what you did that may have offended someone or, you know, harmed someone. So, yeah, just, you know, learn to deal with those inner things, wickedness within yourself that you need to rid yourself of and heal from. You know, so, yeah.
And I want to piggyback on yours. Everything you say is true, but I just want to add one thing. And you kind of said it. I just want to make it a little, to me, this is the way I process. If you're, man or woman, if you're looking about to be married, to go into a marriage with someone who's divorced and you love them, but if there's something in there saying no, listen.
Yeah. Agreed.
Just because you love them and you want to spend your life with them, but there's something in you that's like, no.
Yeah.
Either this is not the time or you should just not be yoked up with them because, because you got, only you can protect you.
Exactly.
And
agree,
and if it needs to be addressed, like she said, bring it up and address it. Because if you don't address it, you continue on, and if you address it before marriage, it's a lot easier to come up out of it.
Yeah.
But if you wait and go past go, don't collect $200, and you're now in it, and then you address it, and the response is not what you desired. Now you've yoked yourself up with this person when you could have just asked the question sooner and made a decision. You know what? As much as I love you, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because, and this is why I said shout out to my mommy, because when we were dating, she was that person, because she, going back to being diagnosed with MS, she had seen all the ups and downs, the good, the bad, and the ugly with that. And so her first question to him, she was like, look, I'm going to just tell you, okay? My daughter has some health challenges. This is my child.
Okay.
And she was like, I want to know, can you deal with that? She said, because she don't always have great days. Some days are good and some are not. And I need to know, are you able to handle that? Because if you can't, you need to leave her here.
Come on.
So
because I can handle it.
Because I can handle it. I'm her mother. But she was like, when I give her to you, she's yours. And
Shout
I need
out
to
to
know.
Mama.
Yeah, she didn't play. And I was like, Ma. She was like, no. She was like, because I need to know.
Yeah.
She said, because I don't want you to get out here and somebody can't take care of you, and then you got to come back to me. And she was like, I want to know. So she was giving him the 100th degree. She did not play, but those were conversations that I wasn't going to have with him. She was like, well, if you don't do it, then I'll do it for you. And she did.
And sometimes we need
the advocate.
Yes, an advocate, whether it's a good girlfriend that knows you and that can ask the question, this is a whole nother conversation, but I have to say this. Do not yoke yourself up with somebody in a silo.
Yes.
You need a village around you, even if that village consists of one or two other people.
Exactly.
You need somebody else to see from the outside looking in. Somebody that you can trust. Somebody that's integral. Somebody that, knows God. Who can help you see what you can't see.
Because I'm seeing from love. I got all the butterflies and all the things, but my mother's like, while I like him, I need to know that he can take care of my child.
Yes.
Because, her thing was, I don't want you to go out here with somebody, you get misused or whatever. She was like, I know he's not going to misuse you. But she was like, I know what comes with health challenges. It can be a lot for people. She was like, so I wanted to know if he could handle that. So yeah, baby, mama, shout out to mama.
Shout out to mama.
She's always on it.
Right.
And see, we even got counseling before we got engaged.
Yes.
Okay.
We did.
You know, wanted to take it a step up because, you know, I've made a mistake before getting engaged and that didn't work out.
Got you.
You know?
Got you.
So save yourself time and energy and money.
Okay, listen, and money.
You know?
Come on, let's be real.
And I want to shout out the Sanders because they were the ones who counseled us, and they gave us some really good nuggets. We took a lot of things away from them, and so kudos to them because they got us together.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. It sounds like that Lifeline community that we're a part of is
Listen.
pretty
Lifeline?
good.
It's everything.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, any other questions you have?
No. I think I was hard on DA enough for it.
You came in hot.
But I was cooling off of water. So I keep going.
I love him, big bro.
Well, I really appreciate you all taking the time to come and talk with us today and share your story and share your journey in a very honest and transparent way. And I know that this is going to bless some people. I know that it's going to help some people. And it is our prayer that that you can take a step back and see yourself maybe through somebody else's story, and it will impact you so that you can maybe make some different decisions.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you all for
Thank
listening.
you.
Thank you for
Yes,
having
thank you
us.
all
Thank you.
for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you for co-hosting
Yes.
with me.
He's great.
And
You need to keep
he do all right, don't he?
He does all right.
And I want to say thank you to the listening and the viewing audience for tuning in to another episode of Pressed Into Purpose. Until next time, continue to press into your purpose. Have a good one. On the next episode of Pressed Into Purpose, we resist the sandpaper. If we resist it, we just gonna be out here rough forever.
But the biggest part of what you said is, and what going back to your question of what I learned about myself in the marriage, I learned that I didn't know anything about myself. So that's hard to come to when you you say you gotta come knowing yourself. When you don't know yourself, then it's hard to even convey that to somebody else. And when they come to you and say, well, you got this issue, you got that issue. No, I don't.
know what you got.
That ain't never been a problem. That's right.
No one's ever told me that.
But coming to that question now, what I know now outside of the marriage is that I know that I did have those issues. But back then, all I knew was I wanted to get married. I didn't know I had to know anything about myself.
Okay, so tip for the people.
Right.
Know thyself.
Know thyself.
See you next time.